Can we have the team from Belize come up here, please? That puts a smile on my face, big time. They're coming, they're coming. This is just like the trip. They're coming, they're coming. Really, really. Really, they're here, really. Really, they are. It's like our first day. We get started. Probably, to me, the low light of starting the trip. Not to be a bummer, but the first day, we got stuck in Las Vegas for a day. And it was like, this is the last place we want to be, is in Las Vegas. We want to get going. Anyway, I'm gonna just leave it to Liz to kind of give you guys an opener and tell us, who's gonna start.
This one?
Yeah.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Well, like Tom said, this trip was a little bit different because it started out different. We arrived in Vegas that morning, got our tickets, checked in, got our luggage in, and went all the way through the gates, got our Starbucks, sat down, and I hear, "Good morning, United whatever customers. Your flight has been delayed till tentatively 10 o'clock a.m., which I just was like, where's Kenny and Tom? I need to find them now. Because that messed up everything. It messed up our van coming to pick us up, the girls from San Diego meeting us in Belize, and what else did it mess up? The connecting flights. And so thank goodness for Kenny being there, or I think I would have been a mess, because it all worked out. God worked it out. So we didn't take off till that night at 10 o'clock p.m. on American and flew all night and then drove all day. And so we got to Belize the next day about 5:30 p.m. Is it about 5:30?
Yeah.
5:30 or 6. So it was a long trip, and we hit the ground running. So it was a little exhausting. It was a different trip for me because there were so many emotions involved in it. Going to a place that I had served for 7 years of my life and poured out my heart. Sorry. And it was just, came out of the van and it just hit me like a ton of bricks and just lost it. And it was just amazing to be home, my second home, but to see all my Belizean family and friends too, and be able to give them hugs and share with them and pray with them. These girls did amazing. Blew me away. Not one fight, not one complaint.
For girls?
Yeah, they do deserve that. They do. There was 8 of us girls in one house with 2 bathrooms, and they did amazing. Just, they were encouragement to me just to see how giving they were and how they wanted to pour out their hearts, and nothing was going to stand in their way. And God truly filled them, and they allowed God to fill them with His Spirit to be able to do that. And so they were amazing. You guys should be proud of them. And, thinking back for me, my first trip to Belize, I was 17, and that's where God kind of planted a seed in my heart for missions. And so that's my prayer for them, that seed was planted and that they won't forget that, and that'll grow into something.
Okay, I guess I'll go first. I'm getting tired of me talking here. Okay. First of all, I just want to thank I'm trying to I don't want to get emotional, but thank you, everyone that supported us and helped us to get there. That was, it was an awesome thing. It was a God thing because, I've been serving in churches in Mesquite for about 23 years, and I really never thought I'd get to go on a trip like that, because it just came down to I'm always working and finances and all this stuff. And I guess, maybe I have a faith problem, but thank you, everyone, for coming through for us. It was big. A couple of the real highlights was looking at the trip in serving the Lord. wherever you serve at, going down there, one thing that I saw, one of the first things that I've noticed is that, it was built by people's vision and started way back. I'm not sure. How many years has that school been there, Pastor?
The school actually initiated in the 80s.
Okay, in the 1980s. And anyway, it took a lot of people carrying the baton, to do what they've done, including our pastor for 6 years. And Liz, she was, grew up there a lot. But I see how it's all transitioned into the locals running and teaching and all this stuff. And we just went down there just to serve them, to help set up the graduation, to see where we're needed, to make it a smooth, because them teachers, they got so much going on with their relationships with their kids and stuff. It's a different deal than it is here. They actually have relationships, and they we're focused on the end of the year and stuff. So all the girls getting together for the graduation part, and Kenny and I building stuff and doing different things. The first night we cleaned a whole lot of fish when we got there. There's a whole story in that and stuff, but it was pretty great. I'm almost feel like the word amazing has gotten overused. It's getting where it was amazing. It was amazing that 4 girls, from America can step in, never cleaned a fish. Well, most of them haven't, Rob, except for your daughter. I would not say that. Oh, wait, okay. Shandy too. Anyway, they didn't have the right kind of knives and other stuff, and Kenny and I started cleaning with the other guys, and there was literally hundreds of fish to clean out, and to clean and to freeze so that they would not, so that they would be able to sell them. Anyway, these girls all got in there. You saw a few of those pictures. They came in their pajamas. They were not, we did not go over and get them. We thought the last thing we want to do is start off one of these girls with a big old slice in their finger on their first week here. But they all jumped in. Nobody got cut. No one, and we worked for probably 3.5 hours of cleaning fish the first night we were there. So, if for those of you who said, was this a luxury trip or vacation? It was a wonderful trip, but it was serving and gaining relationships at the same time. A couple things that happened to me, which is very typical of me, is if there's I got Murphy's Law going on all over the place. If something could go wrong, it's me. I'm going to be the guy. So we like the second or third night, we went over to Gideon and Maylynn's house. They always feed a traditional dinner, East Indian, right? What do they call that?
I'm not sure what you got. Del Roti is probably one of them.
There was dal roti and chicken tikari.
Dal roti and chicken tikari. I don't know why I can't remember that. But anyway, so it's kind of a yellow type curry sauce and stuff that comes on your chicken and stuff. And me and my daughter sitting down next to each other, and the first bite I take out of it, naturally, I pull it out. Now, you got to understand, it's like 99% humidity there, as it is. That's what it felt like, about 99 degrees and about 99% humidity. And they have fans and stuff, but there's no air conditioning as far as that goes. So there's about 12 of us in just the visitors in the small house. And I take my first bite. It's a half of a habanero pepper. The first bite. So then I start to eat it, and the first thing I think is they weren't kidding when they said these people cook hot stuff. Boy, it's spicy. So I'm biting that. My temperature goes up about 20 degrees instantly. And you saw a picture. My face was red down there anyway from the heat and stuff. But so in this little house, I'm enduring it, and all of a sudden a waterfall starts down my head. And I look over at them, I go, you guys really do serve hot food, don't you? And she goes, did you eat that? You're not supposed to eat that. That was just for the seasoning. So luckily it wasn't Brittany, because she had the other half of the habanero on hers. So if she would, it would have been a full-on drama attack, I'm sure. Anyway, that was one of them. And then the last night we were there, we had a traditional ketchi. How do you say it? Ketchi dinner, which is a Mayan heritage. Yeah. Anyway, Jose and what's Justa? Okay, Jose and Justa treated us to this traditional Mayan dinner, and they have a thatch house out there as well as some other dwellings that they built, more recent. But they eat out there. They eat their dinners out there a lot of times and cooked on a stone oven and stuff like that. So, what is it?
Fire hearth.
Okay, a fire hearth. That's what. Told you I never got out of the country. So anyway. So my first bowl was really good, and Liz, we went through some cultural training and said, this is politeness there, that you eat what you get and stuff, and try to be gracious. Don't be American. Be gracious and happy for it. And so the first bowl was really, really good. So I'm going over and get another one, and I asked them what kind of leaves are these, because they have some greenery in the soup and stuff, and they said that this is a what do they call those? Yeah, cilantro? Cilantro. It's not cilantro, it's cilantro. Anyway, so that was kind of covering. I grabbed some meat and grabbed that leaves and threw it in my bowl and went over for my second bowl. And the first thing I pull out this big chicken foot. And so I look at this chicken foot, and I look over at Liz, she's like, "Oh, you got it, huh?" So I'm like, okay, I remember what Liz said, so all right. I just I nibble on it a little bit, and I'm like, where's the meat? I don't get this at all. So I'm trying, and she says, they just suck on it. She says, if you don't want it, they'll eat it. And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna eat it. I'm here. So I ate that, and then I ate whatever I could get off of it and stuff, put it back in my bowl, and then pulled out another spoonful, and guess what? I got the second chicken foot too. So I got both chicken feet, and so I nibbled on those, but I didn't get much meat from it. But yeah, I didn't get it. But anyway, it was a real joy, and the people are really gracious, and there's so much stuff down there that's based around Jesus that it just brings you back with your heart full. So anyway, love those people. Great people.
Guess I'm next. Belize was absolutely amazing. It wasn't anything like here, nothing like it. And for a girl like me who's never ever been out of the country and hardly passed a few states, it was really eye-opening and really amazing just to get out and to see how other people live. A lot of my generation is very rich and spoiled compared to these people. We have so much, and we are so blessed in just our everyday and all the things we have and all the opportunities we've been given and the way we live our lives. And you go down here, and they don't have half the things we have, and it's just very eye-opening and really makes you count your blessings. It was hot, it was sweaty, and it was hard work. The humidity was amazing. You sweat through the night, you sweat the moment you step out of the shower, you're never clean. And you have dirt in every pore, under every fingernail in your hair, and we're girls, and we try not to be like that, so it's kind of tough to keep it up, but you're kept so busy working and serving these people that you don't even hardly think about it. And it's just a big transition, really, from what you're used to. And despite how dirty it was, and despite sometimes how many complaints we had, and despite the fact that our clothes would be soaked with sweat within a couple minutes of stepping outside, we actually started up this game one time when we got set inside this musty library where there were tons of books and cobwebs everywhere. No one knew what anything was, and books were torn apart. And this is their library, a school library, where just books are thrown everywhere, and these children, it was crazy. And we got to work on it instantly, and it was amazing how these girls just took to it. Like, we just divided into patterns, and we decided who was going to take what and how we were going to do it, and it just all got done amazingly, smoothly, no problems at all. And soon enough, like if you saw in the pictures, we had this amazing library afterwards, everything categorized, everything set out for these kids. And while we were doing this, sometimes when it was an absolute oven inside and we'd be getting really hot and irritated, we started up this game, and we got to have one complaint. And then for every one complaint we had to have two things we were grateful for. And so we just started looking at all the things we're grateful for, and we started talking about how happy we were just to be here with each other, how good the food was, how beautiful the scenery was, how amazing the people were, and how much God was just blessing us. And this really just kind of made us look at everything we have. And really made me look at what I have. I got to go without my phone for the entire time. I decided to leave it at home. It's probably the longest I've been away from my phone in a long time. And I didn't miss it one bit. I didn't even think of it or of all the stuff I'm usually so addicted to. I got addicted to the wildlife, to the people, to the culture, to just the beauty of being outside and being around these people. And to people who really look at what they have, people who aren't stuck inside their phones or stuck inside their media, people who just live in fellowship. One night we sat outside, and the rain out there is crazy. It's nothing like Mesquite where you get a drizzle. It's an absolute downpour. You're sitting under a waterfall under a tin roof, and it's like bombs are going off around you and thunder, as Liz kind of warned us about. And we were sitting there with Emerson, and he had his guitar out, and we were just sitting inside the cafeteria just singing worship songs and trying to sing above the rain as it just pounded down all around us. And it was so beautiful, just so beautiful. These people worship with everything they have, they don't hold back. They're so full-hearted, and they just open up, and praise rings out, and you can see right down to their core. These people love God, and they know Him, and they know Him so well. And looking at that made me kind of think of how close am I to God, and how much do I feel Him? And is it mostly show, or is this something I really feel deep down? And so, more eye-opening. And these people, we went down to bless them and to help out with this stuff, but really, we were the ones who came away blessed. At every moment, absolutely. And looking at the stuff, the work projects we did was so great. None of us sat back. The moment the fish came out, us girls, we were all in our pajamas, and we were ready to go to bed. It was about 8 o'clock at night, and it was pretty late for us, and we'd been through a long, hard day of work, and we were just playing some cards and just winding down for the night and ready to go to bed. And then we got this kind of call in, and they said, hey, the fish pump blew up, and all these fish are just dying right and left, and there were about maybe 1,000 fish. There was so much. And this is a livelihood for this place, and all you can think of is we don't have that many people here, and what are they going to do? And we start worrying, and Shandy was the first one to pop up and say, we need to go do something. And we're girls, we're teenage girls, and not that many of us do very well with guts or anything inside of a dead corpse. But, every single person inside there packed up in our pajamas and headed down there just to see what we could do. And there was no idle hands at all. There were people just looking everywhere saying, what can I do? And how can I help these people? And how can you use me? And we immediately set apart one of the grossest things I've ever done. But, for a girl who thought she was going to throw up, I was very surprised and very blessed just to feel this peace come over me and to know, we need to get this done before any of these spoil. We need to have something they can salvage and something that they can use forward. And so just starting this assembly line, we all started working together, and every single hand working. It was just great, despite this kind of horrible moment. All these people had such great attitudes. We were laughing and joking with each other, and we were keeping up smiles, despite the fact that something else so horrible had happened. We went down there to help fix the fish pump, and it blew up. And here was this horrible travesty of all their fish dying, all the stuff they'd worked for, and they were just smiling at each other and working as though it was going to be all right. They trusted God completely. God's going to provide for us. This is okay. We're going to come back from this. And so we just moved on from it. And going to working with the kids, oh gosh, if you saw those pictures, are they not the cutest things? All the girls here have hearts for children, every single one. And we just got accepted and welcomed in to their world, into their school, into their hearts, into their families, with so much love. And they were just so open-hearted. And so we got to spend all this time with these kids playing Simon Says and running around with each other in freeze tag and just teaching them a couple games from America and learning their games. And oh, it was so much fun. They were so sweet. And, they were just such great kids. We all loved them. And the fact that we got to help these teachers was amazing. These are schools that don't have any janitors, that don't have anybody working for them to clean out or to help them with anything. They do every single thing themselves. They work throughout the school years, and they spend so much time away from their homes, almost every moment there, helping these kids and devoting their lives to it and devoting their lives to doing stuff that here in America most teachers don't have to do. They'd come in, and on the last day of school, it's the teachers and the children that are help cleaning up. They're taking out chairs that are cleaning everything. They're getting ready for the new year. And the fact that we got to give them at least just a day off, just a day to go home and rest after all the work and all the suffering and all just amazing things they'd done for these children. That was great, to be able to serve and get served back. And at every moment, everything we got to see, from the fact they were up at the crack of dawn to make us food, to the fact they were down afterwards just to be able to sit and talk with us and fellowship and talk about the Lord and talk about what they did here, and just to benefit us so much, it was really wonderful. And I want to thank you so much for letting us have this experience, for getting us out of America, getting us away from our comfort zones, and letting us serve and be served. Thank you.
I don't really know where to start besides like a huge thank you for everything you guys did, your love, your prayers for us, the donations, of course. But it was really amazing down there. You would think the hardest part would be being away from your family or, I don't know, the heat, but for me it was probably like the bugs, because there were a lot of them and there was only one of me. I don't know. There was one night we all were showering outside because we were sharing 2 bathrooms and we just didn't want to wait for it, and they're all already in their showers and I'm about to get in mine, and I open the stall door and I'm like, hey guys, there's a tarantula in my stall. And, I think it was Shandy or someone that came out to come look at it, and of course it left by then, but I don't know, it was kind of scary, but I mean, I'd rather have those over the little, tiny beetles and everything.
That was the second tarantula.
Yeah. I also found the first one that you guys saw in the picture. There was a thunderstorm, and we had to go unplug everything, and Steph and all the California girls, they were out, and so I went in their room to unplug something, and I kind of turned to my side and was like, oh, okay, and I went and got Juliana, and I kind of told her there was just a spider. I didn't really tell her it was a tarantula, so that kind of freaked her out, but I don't know. It was truly a blessing to go down there and play with the kids and get to know the teachers and get to know the people and just spend a good 9 days with them. It was awesome. It was awesome. So, thank you.
Okay, so I'm not very good at this whole speaking in front of people thing, but I would just want to start off by saying thank you to everyone, financially and just for praying for us, because as soon as we got there, like Liz said, we were in Vegas, and we were all really stressed out. We didn't want to be in Vegas. We wanted to be there already, and we instantly felt prayers, and there was a weight off of our shoulders as soon as we got on that plane, and we were just all relieved that we were on our way and that we were safe. That was the main thing, that although our flight was canceled or delayed, we were all safe. It wasn't a plane crash. It could have been way worse. But in our devotions, we were asked to meditate on all that God has shown us and to look up a verse that just encouraged us. And my favorite verse, actually, I have it hanging in my bathroom. It's, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength, Philippians 4:13. And that constantly was in my head. For those who know me, I don't like chicken, and that is the main thing that we eat in Belize. So that was my main struggle. I was just all right, I'm going to bite into this chicken and enjoy it. And so I'd just be I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And I loved the food. I ended up leaving, and I was just okay, can I just have Belizean food for the rest of my life? But yeah, so I wrote this little thing because we were also asked to sum up our whole entire trip in one sentence, and I was I can't do that in one sentence, so I wrote a paragraph. It says, okay, hang on. Minds full of inside jokes and memories, mouths full of worship songs and food we will never, forever crave and never forget. Bodies full of sweat and bug bites, hearts full of love and the Holy Spirit, arms full of hugs, eyes full of happy and sad tears after saying goodbye. that to me came to me on the very last day that we were all, everyone was inside the house. I think it was raining, but I'm not sure. It was raining a lot. That's what I loved. It was pouring rain. Like Brittany said, we were in the cafeteria basically screaming worship songs because the rain was so loud that we were screaming them, and Emerson was playing guitar. And just to sum up how loud we were singing, my dad ended up breaking a guitar string, so that happened. And just overall, the worship, that was something that is in my life and has been in my life because my mom and dad have been the worship leaders. And just being able to hear it and us not just singing it for people and for God, like it's for God, that's why we worship, but we weren't doing it for others, we were doing it for God, and that was just so amazing to me. Yeah, that was basically it was just an amazing trip overall. And to go along with the story in the showers, so us 4 girls were outside showering, and this was something that was actually fun for us. Like, we liked going out in our stalls in the shower in the forest. I don't know why, but it was just such a great experience, which sounds horrible, but the showers was one of the greatest parts because you were always hot and sweaty and you just wanted to have a cold shower. So we get into our stalls, and Brittany was in the first one, I was in the second one, Shandy was in the third, and Cassie was in the fourth. And I kid you not, we walk in there, and all of us had a bug in our stalls. Like, not just like, okay, we had many bugs, but each of us had our own friend bug. And we named them that because we were talking in our stalls, and we're like, hey, what do you guys have today? So I think Brittany had, what did you have? She had like a spider or something. I had a beetle, this big, no joke, it was that big, bigger than a quarter. Cassie had a spider that crawled in from Shandy's or something, and then they both had ants, or I don't know, flying ants. This beetle decided to crawl up onto me while I'm showering. Okay, it's a beetle that's this big. That's not something I wanted crawling on me. And my automatic reaction was to hit it and get it off me. Well, that wasn't very good idea because I hit it and it splattered on me. So I'm showering and I have a beetle bigger than a quarter that is on me, and that was disgusting. But, you know, overall it was a great trip, so thank you.
Okay, so as you can tell, there were like a lot of great things and then some also difficult things about this trip. But I mean, the reason I really wanted to go on this trip was because I knew I needed to get out of my comfort zone. Pastor Rick's always telling us to get out of our comfort zone just for God and serve other people. And so that was really the main point for me. So even though there were difficult things, that's why I was there. But I think the thing that really stood out to me through this whole trip is just God's timing with everything. I mean, even though we were delayed with our flight, and that was really hard, and we all wanted to take a nap, I mean, that happened for a reason. I mean, we got there safely, and we did have a chance to actually pray as we were in the hotel room in Vegas, because we really hadn't had a lot of worship time as a team before that point. And I mean, we were there for when their fish died and things went wrong. I mean, that was completely God, because they really don't have a lot of people there for help all the time. So that was a good thing. And I mean, the people there are just so loving. They're such examples of God's love. It's so different from here. I mean, you go out into town and there are signs for, like, in God we trust, in Jesus Christ we are saved. There are posters all over the place. They're so accepting to Christians there. And I mean, if you did that in America, like, there would be so many complaints and someone would end up in a lawsuit. But it's just such an amazing thing to go over there and witness what they are all about there. But yeah, we wanted to thank all of you for getting us there and for your prayers and support.
Hey, church family. It's been a little while. I just want to say thanks to all of you guys for, holding my family up in prayer. First and foremost, I just want to offer that up. The context of my absence will become, clearer in the future. But this is about Belize, and I just first and foremost wanted to say thank you guys for all of your support and your prayers for our family. As I look at this trip to Belize, for me it was my third time down, and I was going down in a frame of mind that was really not really the best to be of much help and support. And fortunately, I think that there were certain things that we were able to accomplish. Greater is He who is in us than he who is in the world, and God working through us does what He does, and He does amazing things. And I had initially signed up for the trip because there were no male chaperones to go. I guess the word got out that it was pretty much an all-female trip, primarily teenage girls, and so where's all the guys, Yeah, but it was appropriate that a couple fathers would step up, and I want to say what an incredible privilege it was to be able to accompany my daughter and to watch what she was able to experience, and to see see her blossom in areas that I have never seen. Overcoming fears and overcoming just overcoming herself, and stepping out. So that was really, really, really amazing. And if I would summarize the overall success of this trip, I would say that it happened in these teenage girls who had a life trajectory paradigm shift. They're able to see another part of the world that makes us call into question our lives and call into question what it is that we do. And to whom much is given, much is required. And so to serve the Lord gladly and joyfully. So, word of caution: if you struggle with a verse that says something to the effect of "do all things without grumbling and complaining," you probably don't want to go to Belize. And there will be future trips. But if you want to overcome obstacles in your life, and if you want to, get out of your comfort zone, those trips to Belize definitely do that. So that's about all I have to say. Thanks again, and see ya.
Me? All right, kids, you can go. Again, you guys, thank you for all your support and prayers.